Hey, what's up, guys? It's Clint Baker. I'm back with another episode of Versus. Holy smokes, do me a favor before we get started. Click that subscribe button. We need your subscriptions. We just need some thumbs up and some subs. Guys, when you do that, it lets the algorithm know that we're important and that they should push our videos out for the world to see. And we got a lot of fun today. We have Looper versus Timecop. That's right. I said it. 2 time travel shoot 'em up films. Holy crap. I don't know which one is better, but to find out, to figure this out, I'm going to need my partner in crime, my brother from another mother. CB3. Curtis, what's happening, my man?
Hello. Happy Friday, everybody.
Oh, you're growing. Yeah. How you doing, man?
Boy. I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see how this one turns out because I'm really not sure either way. Like it's this one's. I usually have you kind of have a favorite, whether you try to be as impartial as of a jury as you can, but you usually have a favorite. This one, I'm not sure.
It's tough.
It's gonna be interesting to see how. Yeah,
it's tough. They're two good movies, man. Holy smokes. Well, let's go jump up in the chat and say hi to everybody while we're here. While we're partying, that's what we're doing right now. On Versus, that's what we do. We party serious. And as usual, we're partying with Bobby. Bobby, what is up?
Hey, pretty lady.
Yes, sir. Bobby's in the house. We're going to give her the bell. We're not giving her the air horn this time. We're giving her the bell. I know we got Clink in the house because we both got text messages that we're late.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, we're right on time. We just needed the
Bobby
theater. We needed the theater lights to come on.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it's we can't control that. Bobby, did you see Elvis? I remember you were saying you got tickets and you broke down. You were going to go see it. Let us know if you did and what you thought.
Yeah, because inquiring minds want to know. Yeah.
Wow.
Curtis, you got a weird light thing going on over there.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why. I don't know what.
I don't know. I almost thought you had like a fan blowing against your curtain. But it's not a curtain
now. Yeah.
Is your light moving at all? Like, do you have light? It's bizarre. It's gone now, but it was happening earlier. It's something weird. It's like your light.
I wonder if it's a reflection of my glasses on. I don't know.
That is weird. All right, well let's move on because there's nothing we can do about it. But 2 movies, 2 excellent movies, man. I hadn't seen Looper since it was in the theater, and Looper, excellent movie. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Bruce Willis, Emily Blunt, Paul Dano, Piper Perabo. I mean, Jeff Daniels, who's just fantastic in everything he does. I forget how amazing Jeff Daniels is until I see him in another thing, and then I'm like, God, dog, he's good. Yeah. He's so good. Let's see here. Let's do it. Let me read the synopsis of this movie here. In a future society, time travel exists, but it's only available to those with the means to pay for it on the black market. When the mob wants to eliminate someone, it sends a target into the past where a hitman known as a looper lies in wait to finish the job. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who plays Joe, is one such hired gun, and he does his job well until the day his bosses decide to close the loop and send Joe's future self, who is Bruce Willis, back in time to be killed. Man, I super enjoyed this movie. Like, I forgot how good this movie was, and dude, I loved it. I watched this movie and I was actually sitting up in my bed. Sometimes I'll watch something laying down. I was actually sitting up, like I was tired. I thought I'll probably fall asleep, and then finish it in the morning. No, man. And this is a Rian Johnson, the guy who people call the savior of Star Wars. Just kidding. No, that guy. He made this movie. It's no wonder that they picked him to go and do Star Wars, because this movie is great. Everyone in the cast, I've had a crush on Emily Blunt forever.
Yeah.
This is one where she's got an American accent, which is always interesting.
That freaked me out. I was like, "Is that her?" I
Yeah,
was like, "That's not her." I thought that was her, but that's not her. It freaked me out.
yeah, she's so good. But it was the movie's just fantastic, and um, I like I really liked this story because it wasn't predictable. You know what I mean? Like you're watching this thing, and half the time I watch something, I kind of feel like I already know how the story's going to go. And
Mhm.
there were some things that I predicted, but still, it was an exciting ride. What did you think, Curtis?
Yeah, even on the rewatch, I didn't remember because I had seen it. I didn't see it in theaters, but I had seen it. When it came out on DVD, and then I think I'd seen it another time since then. Maybe not, but and even then I was like, yeah, I was wondering, like, how's this going to end? I remember liking it, but I remember there being some problem with it, and on the rewatch, that problem became apparent, but it wasn't as big of a deal breaker problem to me. I just the I remember the telekinesis part
Mm-hmm.
with the kid and stuff, and then the people, like, it just seemed unnecessary to me. Like the kid could grow up and be a mob boss and take over everything without that. I know that's how he came to power quickly because of, but of his powers and stuff like that. But like just seemed unnecessary to me. But it didn't bother me as much this watch, and I just thought it was really good. It has the same issue that every cyclical time movie has. I'm sure we'll talk about a lot, but this was just a really good movie. Um, Clink's talking about the Looper loses for CGI. Such a JV version of unnecessary face CGI. So it
Which
was
which part
on
was that?
Justin Gordon-Levitt the whole time. I'm assuming. I don't know if it was CGI or practical or
Makeup.
not.
Yeah.
It's still noticeably not correct, but I did notice his mannerisms of a young Bruce Willis and stuff this time were pretty darn good. He didn't necessarily look like a young Bruce Willis, but he definitely acted a good bit like one.
Yeah, and a
Yeah,
lot of forehead stuff that he did,
yeah.
and the mannerisms. I was kind of watching that too. Um, yeah, I thought it was good. Like I thought it was great. Um,
That didn't look anything like Bruce Willis,
no,
but that
not at
thing he
all.
does where that the thing where he does where like he kind of purses his lips, or I don't know, but he was pulling that off and like
I agree with you. I don't think they needed to have the telekinesis in this movie. You're like,
yeah, it
it's
just kind
already
of
sci-fi. It's time travel. Like we're
right.
good in the random mutation. It's like it played a little part in the movie, but I guess it takes it to like an immediate. Hey, we got to kill this kid.
Mhm.
Like that's the only thing, you know what I
That's a
mean?
good
like
point.
like it's it's
Yeah.
it's the secret the mom's keeping, and she's keeping him safe, and that's the big secret, and that all of a sudden turns it into like, nope, that's the kid I need to kill.
Yep.
So that's the only thing, but
Okay.
other than that, it could have been like a birthmark or something
Mhm.
that let you know it was that he was the one, and bam, and not have to have the weird telekinesis thing. But
Yeah.
I like telekinesis, so I'll take it. Like I'm in. I'm down for some telekinesis. It's cool, but I agree they didn't need it. But yeah, I loved it, man. I loved it. I liked him. I liked the older Bruce Willis just being like,
Mhm.
my stupid young self, because that's the thing. That's the thing I do with myself all the time now. I'm like, man, I'm such a moron when I was in my
Mhm.
20s and thought I was so smart, and now and the idea of having to go back and like wrangle yourself is kind of hilarious. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
It's like,
Um,
shut your stupid child face. Like,
yeah, basically.
like, that's what he says. He says at one point, and then like whenever he's watching him do stuff, he's like, "This guy's an idiot." And it's him when he's younger, you know.
It's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, you want to go on to the next one?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Another legendary movie that I saw in the theater. Boom. Time Cop. That is right. Time Cop with Jean-Claude Van Damme, Mia Sara, Gloria Reuben, Ron Silver. Bruce McGill, you know Jack from MacGyver, yeah, and a whole bunch of other good ones. But let's read the synopsis. The synopsis is. When mankind perfects time travel, the government establishes the Time Enforcement Commission to thwart criminals' attempts against to alter the timeline. Police officer Walker, who is played by Jean-Claude Van Damme, is recruited by the TEC Commodore Matt Tuzak, who's Bruce McGill, but soon finds his investigation of Senator Aaron McComb being thwarted by elements within the government. When Walker's wife, Melissa, played by Mia Sara, is attacked, he must travel across time to rescue her and save the future. Excellent movie. I mean, it's an 80s Van Damme movie. Like, it's an 80s Van Damme movie, but it was still fun. It's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite Van Damme movie. I mean, you know, I know he's got a lot of more fighting and action based ones, but just this one I'd seen a ton growing up. It's one of my favorite ones. And
more than Lionheart?
Yeah.
Dude, Lionheart was my fave.
But it just like the weird thing on the rewatch to me was that this is a 10-year time gap. So even Looper, which is it's set in 2044 with a 30-year time gap when time travel is achieved. So time travel is achieved around 2074. Like that's like enough out of the way. And even Back to the Future in 85, they said, let's do 2015. So, you know, that's a good 30 years away. Like this for Timecop, it was like a 10-year difference. It was just weird. So it was noticeable. They go, you know, we haven't lived through 2044 yet, but in Timecop from 1994 to 2004, people are driving these basically spaceships that are on the road. And what I thought was cool in Looper is that like they show the cars and they've got like solar panels like kind of tacked onto the hoods and onto the things, but they're these junker cars with like solar panels tacked on. And then there's like something, if you look at the gas tank, they've got some kind of, you know, tube system coming out of it, like where you can tell like times have changed, but like they're still riding the same old cars and trucks and stuff like that. Like it's just interesting how within like Timecop, the optimism was like within 10 years, like look at all this great stuff that'll happen. And then in Looper, it's like this is a good 50 years later, and it's still the same thing. You know, like they realize now, like society doesn't progress that fast.
It's hilarious. I liked the stuff coming out of the gas tank and all that. That was weird.
Yeah, it was just, and it made sense too because people are just going to adapt their old cars. I'm not getting a new damn car. Like, just, you staple some solar panels on there. All right, we're good.
Like, call it a day. We're good. Yeah, the spaceship cars definitely they're some weird looking stuff, and they didn't have and they're driving themselves. You know, I mean, like they got that.
Yeah.
Kind of right.
Yeah, that's
we
true.
Get Tesla,
but again, in a 10-year time frame, like they've been like, come on, guys, 10 years, like.
You know, apparently when you need to age 10 years, you just grow a mullet, and that's the difference. You know what I mean? Like you're
pretty much.
When I was young, I had very short hair. Now I have a mullet.
And his wife's like, who are you? He hadn't changed. And he's kind of scruffy and he's got a mullet. And like later on, his wife's like, you're not Max or whatever, like, or Walker. Like,
that also at the end when once he saves the day and everything is all said and done and she comes out, I feel like she should have known, like, okay, this is the you now that it's time to go back to the past, and because she's got to remember, you know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? Like once he's grown up and they have their kids, like, it might have been like, okay, go back and do what you need to do or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Send him off to go, because she's like, oh yeah, I remember 10 years ago before we had a child, and when he saved me and himself. I was like, yeah,
that that's another thing too that Looper, since we're talking about cyclical time travel, did correctly is like the memories would appear once once Justin Gordon Jason he's Looper. Once Looper did his thing, Bruce Willis would remember it, and like and then he would have those memories because that makes sense. Whereas with Jean Claude, like he got back and he was like at the end he's got like a 10-year-old kid and he's like, I don't even know this kid. He's happy. He's like I'm so happy to have a kid. But he's like, hey son, what's happening, guy? You've been good for your mom, Junior.
Let me teach you how.
Name.
Let me teach you how to do the splits.
Yes,
yeah.
Dad, you taught me that like 60 times already. I'm going to teach you again. Shut up and grow your mullet.
Yeah, that is some gourmet stuff right there. Speaking of which, hold on, I gotta do this. Maybe. Yeah, that's the one thing I remembered from this movie was there's a kitchen scene where he jumps up and does the splits and lands on the counter. And that is like classic Van Damme. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
You're like, of course I know. I'm bringing that image in. Guys, you have to see this. You have to see this. It's Jean-Claude jumping up.
If you could take one visual image of Jean-Claude Van Damme and express it to people, this is what it would be.
There you go, guys. Look at that. Ha! 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 On repeat. Forever.
I wonder if his bald got a little singed from that.
Oh, man. You think, but he has futuristic underwear.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, future singe-proof underwear. That's what they have in the future. You want to do a little trivia? Do we have anything good?
Let's see. There's a lot on there. There's a whole lot, but for what's interesting, apparently Timecop was based on a Dark Horse comic series. In the last fight scene, Jean-Claude and his stunt double are used to create the illusion. Here, this is what's interesting. So the virtual reality nude scene of the lady on the bed was originally supposed to be a nature documentary about beavers. However, the offsite team got drunk on the evening of shooting and ended up at a strip club. The next morning, they woke up realizing they had missed the bus to the nature reserve and instead had to film one of the dancers they had met at the club the night before. So, happy accident. They said 2004's Van Damme hairstyle was partially influenced by Wolverine, and he also wore Wolverine brand shoes or work boots on and off duty.
Oh boy.
I do. The most memorable thing to me was the end scene where the two senators get pushed into one another, and go like, same matter can't occupy the same space at the same time.
yeah.
Which I always said like that, but on the rewatch, it's really not as mind-boggling as it was when the first time I saw it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot down here, but nothing spectacular.
Yeah, there's a lot of boring trivia in this. Okay, the turntable featured in a few shots is a Gyro SE made by the UK company Mitchell Engineering. It has been in continuous production since 1983. Gyro SE turntable. Mr. Clink, how about that?
All right.
This is the second movie in which Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character struggles in learning French. The other was 10 Things I Hate About You. Okay, well, those Gats, those big guns that they have, those are actually real. They actually make giant guns like that.
I think they were, and then they were like from Civil War era or something. So I don't know why you'd go back in time to make. That's what I always thought the guns in Timecop were really cool. It was like they shot discs or something like that. I don't know, but they looked cool. But they didn't because they'd have bullet holes. But it was just neat.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt was fitted with prosthetics and studied Bruce Willis's movies in order to play a young Joe. He was so successful that Willis recognized his own mannerisms in their scenes together. That's interesting. That would be weird to be acting with somebody who's basically playing you.
I'm acting like you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do that, and then you realize, I do that.
Oh,
Clink says, I think CB3's bar for science in a Van Damme movie is a bit high. I mean, didn't you dudes talk about Blade Runner? True. But again, Blade Runner was set like 30 to 40 years in the future, not 10. That's the issue. Like, all of this stuff with Van Damme could have worked, but they took a decade. Like, how much progresses in a decade? Like, that's the main issue I have with it.
Although not seen in the movie, when Sid becomes Rainmaker in 2074, he would be 35 years old. Man, he was one pissed off looking kid, though. I'll tell you what.
And he didn't look 10. They said he was 10 in the movie.
Yeah, he looks younger.
He looked like a 5-year-old or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he's just a little guy. Like a Patton Oswalt, like a little dude, you know? That's what they should have had. They should have had Patton Oswalt play Rainmaker as a grown-up.
Shut up, Emily Blunt. I don't like you.
Squibbity-doo. Yeah, that would have been good. All right. Well, dude, let's get into some questions, man.
All right.
After that, we got
movie's ruined for me now, but okay.
Yeah,
every time I watch it, I just be like, when does Patton Oswalt show up? Oh, damn it, that wasn't real.
Dude, they should do like a new cut, the Oswald cut. All right, this is game time. We got both teams start with 1 clock. Timecop versus Looper. Special thanks to CK Graphics for the kick-ass graphic. All right, which one has a better story? Who has a better story? Which one is a better story? All right, man, oh man, oh boy, would it be a senator who is part of an oversight committee going back in time and using a time machine to become president and alter the future, and also taking out anybody, creating funds to do so and eliminating anybody that stands in his way? Or is it having a future black market run time travel thing that takes out its opponents, does its hits through time travel, and then having to kill oneself when your time is done, along with a future Patton Oswalt telekinetic kid who is being protected by a telekinetic mom? Man, there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to lean Timecop, because if time travel existed, I just don't see, the Mafia is a very powerful organization. I don't see them having a bunch of like theoretical physicists kicking around that can pull off they've got this like time travel thing in this abandoned warehouse. Like it works for the movie, but in general, like a senator having access to the time travel device that was not decommissioned or whatever, like in Timecop, makes much more sense. The story of Timecop makes much more sense. Like Looper works for Looper, like for the individual story of Joseph Gordon-Levitt, for Looper and Bruce Willis, and the little Patton Oswalt kid and Emily Blunt. Like it for that self-contained story, it works. But for the larger part, it didn't. I don't know if that universe makes sense to me. Whereas the Timecop universe does make sense to me. Like other governments would come up with time travel, and then they could police that and stuff like that, but not these criminal organizations. That just seemed kind of off
I
to
mean,
me. So
is this supposed to make sense, or is it supposed to be a better story? What's a better story? A hitman who
yeah,
basically finds love and is fighting for survival, and to save the woman that he loves, and fighting for his own survival, and then his opponent is himself, along with being older and wiser, being able to take out the criminal underworld that is trying to kill him and his loved ones. I don't know. That's a pretty compelling story. It's all how you pitch it.
that's a good point too. I mean, like because the idea that young Bruce Willis and old Bruce Willis were basically at odds with what they wanted to have happen made sense too, because like as an older person, you have different values than you do as a younger person, and just that. But and at the same time too, since it is a cyclical time travel story, honestly, once they broke the main timeline, and like, do you still think that this is the issues that I had, is that Bruce Willis was still trying to achieve his goals, and find the Chinese lady. Like once the younger person knew, and once that timeline was broken, I just don't see that. I see such a butterfly effect occurring that he's not going to find that lady. It's not going to be like, especially once he met Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt is going to replace that lady, and you know what I mean. So
Maybe.
like that's I just yeah, of course maybe, but
You know what?
like,
I kept waiting for him to look at his watch and the face to change to Emily Blunt's face. Is what I
me
kept
too.
waiting for.
Like,
Yeah.
and something like that. Like I just don't see like his Bruce Willis's timeline hanging on that much. And like if you're talking about time changes, so you're right. It doesn't, if it's a better story, it doesn't have to make more sense. But to me, especially for a time travel movie and stuff like that, to me it does. So I'm still gonna lean Time Cop. I'm gonna go Time Cop.
I think I'm going to go with Looper because I think it's a much more dramatic story, much more, well, I mean, it's how you pitch it. You could say the Time Cop is just fighting to go back in time to save his wife who got killed in the beginning, and then you're also saying the other guy's going back in time trying to survive so he could save his wife who dies at the end. So it's really it's interesting. I'm going to go with Looper on this, so we're going to have to get a tiebreaker. Let's talk to the chat. I think CB3's bar is high for science. I mean, didn't you dudes talk about Blade Runner? Yeah, we sure did. Never heard of it. I don't know what that means. Fair, but they didn't have to take a Van Damme face prosthetics thanks to 10-year gap. That's true. They just had to do a prosthetic mullet. Sorry.
It was a prosthetic mullet. It was hair extensions.
I know. It was. Paul Dano was great in Looper. Mel.
And Mel's going Looper.
You're going Looper?
Anybody else? The paradox of time travel is way more in effect. I agree with that.
So we got right now. We got two.
So what are you voting, Clink?
Yeah, what are you voting, Clink? Because right now we've got Looper, and is it going to be Is it going to go full Looper, or is it going to be a tie?
But Clink, I want to talk about that one. I guess that means Time Cop. Yes, because that's the thing. I
think he means you're right as far as not which one's a better story, but you're right. It is a prosthetic mullet. I think that's what he meant.
Okay. Fair enough. I am right about that.
You are right. That is a prosthetic mullet.
But that's the thing is that, in Looper, even if he did kill the kid or kill himself to save the kid, that negates the reason that since it's cyclical, the reason that he went back in the first place. Therefore, he would not have gone back. Therefore, he would not have killed himself. Therefore, it never happened. That's a time paradox.
Say that again.
So the reason he killed him. So the reason he killed himself at the end,
Right.
okay, was to
Spoiler
save
alert.
the kid.
Just kidding.
Yeah, this
Uh-huh.
was to save the kid because of the damage the kid would cause.
Right.
Okay, and we're talking about time travel. If he kills himself at that time, then there is no reason, there is no older self to be sent back
That's why he disappeared
to
immediately.
cause, right, to cause the younger self to kill himself. Therefore, the younger self did not kill himself. Therefore, the Rainmaker became, there has to be a prime timeline. In Timecop, there was a prime timeline where, because the beginning that you thought or that you didn't know what was happening, like that was the senator going back later on to kill his
Right.
family. So you had a prime timeline. And this one, like, and it's still cyclical, so there's still issues with that. But whereas with this one, like anything that you do, anything that happens from Bruce Willis appearing automatically negates itself.
Yeah, he erased all that.
But it's not that's like, but since it's erased, then we're talking about if the past can erase the future, then the future can erase the past because that future is traveling into the past. You know what I mean?
The past erased the future because it cut out off that timeline before it happened.
Right. So again, we have a paradox here. So because you can't it doesn't, like in a cyclical timeline, it does work like that. That's why I'm a fan. I'm like, it's you can't have paradoxes in physics. That's why I like the Avengers model of time travel, where it creates in an alternate universe. They go on. Rainmaker's not.
It cuts the loop though. There's no loop.
Right.
It's
and
a
so
it's
Bruce
straight.
Willis would have still been alive. Yeah, Bruce Willis would have. Yeah. And
if he kills
timeline,
if he kills himself, it's over.
not in an alternate timeline, no.
Yeah, but
He's
it's not it's one timeline
That's
that keeps
right.
coming back into itself.
It loops,
but,
yes,
yeah,
and that's the issue.
But he cut the loop so that it just keeps going.
If he kills himself, yes, so it keeps going, but there is no person to go back in time to cause it's a cause and effect thing. The effect is that he kills himself. The reason he kills himself is because he went back in time. The reason he went back in time is because of the Rainmaker. The reason the Rainmaker exists is because he went back in time. You know what I mean? Like, so it's it's going to continue. There has to be a starting position.
See, you're saying all of the events that as soon as he kills himself, he kills all of his reason for being there in the first place.
Because the only reason any of the movie happened was because Bruce Willis went back in time. Now there is no old Bruce Willis to go back in time. Therefore, the events of the movie did not occur. Therefore, it just jumps back to him being a young man. Him being a young man would allow the Rainmaker to grow up, and like something happens, like, and cause his old self to come back, and then it just repeats itself.
Yeah, but
he says he's breaking the loop, but he's not, because once he kills his older self, then it negates everything that he did in the movie.
Yeah. That's just a different timeline. That's if you believe in loops. If you believe in multiple.
It's called Looper.
he loops in, but it just branches off.
No,
all right.
If it branches off, like, doesn't mean the Avengers timeline makes sense because it branches off. But like, since it's a cyclical timeline, just like Terminator, you go back and you kill.
It doesn't mean that every time, all time is a loop. It just means that that's one timeline that he keeps looping back on. So there's multiple timelines. There's one timeline where he stopped to go to the bathroom. There's one timeline where he didn't. There's one where he peed his pants. There's one where he didn't. There's infinite timelines.
Then that's not real time travel.
Yeah, but this it is. All those infinite timelines. You just go back, and then you go back to earlier in that one timeline. But that doesn't mean that there's not millions and gazillions of them.
All right.
Man, that That's rough. All right. I was just looking
But
for.
so I still go Timecop. So we got 2 Timecop, 2 Looper for best story.
Yeah, I think so.
Bobby, what you think? What you got, Bobby? Or we gotta go with the tie.
I don't know. Where'd it go?
It's in your butt.
Yeah, it might be. I was looking for for the goats. Not again. Okay. Let's see here. It's called an ontological paradox, Curtis.
There you go. Very good. Thank you so much.
No, I get the paradox. I get it, but I'm just saying it doesn't have to be that way. It just depends how it just depends how your story's told.
But yeah, but that's what I mean. The basis of the movie is called Looper, so it's a loop timeline. It's not a branching timeline.
You could loop in the same timeline.
Yes, but the loop, that's what I mean. You can, yes, you absolutely can. But the loop is what negates itself.
Yeah.
Like, so Terminator goes back and
I
kills
get
John
what you're
Connor.
saying. I'm just
John
saying.
Connor doesn't exist. Therefore, there's no reason to send back a Terminator. Therefore, the Terminator is not sent back.
I get it, dude.
Therefore, John Connor exists. Therefore, you send back a Terminator. So it's just this ongoing thing.
Clint is now making shit up. Prove his point. All right. Fake stuff up. All right, let's move forward. So there's no winner, I guess, on that one.
I think we're going with a tie, I guess.
All right. Best cast. That's easy.
I think it kind of is. I think it is. Is it?
I'm like, that's easy.
I mean, I'm probably gonna go Looper.
Just gave him the point. Like that's who the hell is in? All right, who the hell's in Timecop? Let's see, cast.
JCVD.
Um,
And you got Mia Sarah, who, like, you were talking about Emily Blunt. I do have a crush on Emily Blunt as well, but Mia Sarah was that, man, she was just the one back then. His wife, Jean-Claude's wife.
Oh, I know. Oh, back then, yeah, she was fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see here. I'm going single screen so I can share this. Boom, maybe.
You got
what's going on here?
And Timecop, you got Ron Silver, who was basically funny-looking Andy Garcia.
Yeah.
That guy Scott Lawrence, they have him labeled Spada here, but the guy at the beginning who came in and told him about time travel really nailed it.
Hold on, I'm gonna. There we go. Now I got this going. All right, so Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, look at good old Bruce McGill down here on the end.
Bruce McGill, yeah.
He's from MacGyver, so he gets extra points for that.
And he's in a lot of stuff, and he's always great. He's one of those guys that just, I guess, character actor, like, he just always nails it.
Always good. This guy all the way to the right with the beard right here on the bottom right.
Mm-hmm. Charles Andre.
Yeah, he should get points just for that beard, I think.
True.
The guy next to him is the poor man's Zod.
He is. Is that? I wonder if that was the guy with the stupid mullet, or the like the he had like it shaved on this. Like people in the future, and this is 10 years in the future. It's like everybody's gonna look like fucking steampunk weirdo.
That guy just looked like some random giant dude that would be like at club at like a goth club at Club X. Look, this guy.
Was that him?
I don't know. I'm going to click on this guy.
Brian Woosley?
I need images of this guy.
Yo, Brian Woosley. No, that's not him.
No, you're not. You're not giant, ferocious enough to be that guy. Oh, I don't know who.
I'm telling you, I think it's this guy down here that was Utley. Go down, the old guy. Yeah, way up, right there. Kenneth
Welsh?
Welch. I think that was him.
I don't know, dude.
Maybe not. No, he looks distinguished there.
I don't know, but
He looked like a
that was a
crazy.
special jacket that he was wearing. I wanted to go to Goodwill and find me a giant leather bathrobe.
His shin guards, metal shin guards from like super soccer practice in 2004.
Yeah, okay.
But
Now,
yeah, it's Looper.
let's look at Looper's cast. All right, just Paul Dano, or
yeah, but I hate Paul Dano's face. I just
Yeah.
hate his face. He was very good in this, but like,
It's
he's
'cause you
very good in a lot of things.
I drink your shake. Just Jeff Daniels alone. Just
Yeah,
the young Patton Oswalt.
Pierce Gagnon. Hey, he might be family.
Huh. Yeah, everybody. Garrett Dillahunt. Reminds me of MacGruber. All these people, excellent. I'm giving it to Loop. I already gave him the point,
Yeah,
so
it's gotta go.
we're
Yeah,
just
it's
gonna
gotta
move
go to
on.
Looper. Oh well.
I already gave him the point. I'm like, there's not even like there's no contest. There's no contest, and I control the point board. We got Looper. Looper's ahead. So officially, that's right, people. All right. Well, let's go to the next thing. Which film was better looking? This one's easy too. Just based on the cars. Shit.
I mean, I don't know. Like it's hard. It's hard to get around the 1990s CGI, but a
Are you
lot of
talking
Looper
about?
was just in a field, and Timecop at least had some. You did have the silly spaceship cars, but it did have like more of what you would think a time travel thing would be. Uh,
Are you kidding? They had like a jet motorcycle and driving through the town, driving through the big city.
they did. Yeah, okay, they did. But I mean, a lot of it, yeah, was just like running around in the fields. Like, I mean, I'd say good 90% of the movie. And again, like the time machine for Time Cop was pretty impressive. The one for the Looper was just like a fucking old boiler that they just retrofitted or something like this. That again, I don't know.
It looked like a Star Wars snow speeder on a track.
And I do remember, like I said, I remember the two senators going to get, touching one another. And I don't know. I guess I'm going to say Time Cop. I don't know.
I'm going to have to go.
Because, but think about the time. I mean, yeah, Looper's, it's 20 years later, but for the time,
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's a draw. Which one is a better looking film? I don't think it's fair, honestly, because you're dealing with, back in the 80s and like, I'm like, oh, it's like doing Running Man, versus Looper or something. You know what I mean? It's like this.
Running Man's
rough.
gonna win, dude. Running Man's gonna win. But and two, like as much as it didn't bother me as much as it obviously still bothers Clink, but the makeup for Looper was just a little, I don't know, it was a little distracting for what they could do. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, Clint. Then, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, of course, you can't compare, movies, 20 or something years removed. I mean, unless they're just Jurassic Park still holds up to anything almost. But, you know, for what you're looking at, most of Looper, you're looking at cornfields, man. I mean, like, not being mean, just like for honestly, most of it, it's just some cornfields or sugarcane fields, I guess.
I'd say half. Not real. I mean, not.
At least half. Yeah. Okay. I mean, but whereas in Timecop, they go back to the 30s, they go back to the Civil War era, they go back to.
That's fair enough.
They do all of these different things that are visually different.
Just for that, just for the flashback of with the Wall Streets and the stocks and all that, I'm gonna go Timecop. Yes. Points. Looper. Just kidding. Timecop.
Dirty bastard.
All right, I got a point for Timecop. We're tied. It's the heat is on.
Was he just as pretty? I'm sorry, Mel. Was he just as pretty with the Bruce Willis makeup on?
Prettier than Jean-Claude Van Damme doing the splits?
With the hair extensions?
Yeah, with the mullet?
Nothing's that pretty. That's not fair.
I mean, come on. Prettier than that?
Nothing's
prettier
that pretty.
than that? Look at that.
That's right, Mel. No, nothing's prettier than that.
Clint is...
Boo.
I was trying to get rid of that. Boom.
Why?
Yeah. And so let's see here. All right. Which one had a better better music? I didn't even notice music on either.
Yeah, I'm
either
gonna
movie.
have to. Probably gonna have to tie. I don't remember the music of either of them.
Woo-wee! All right. We'll skip that one. Which one had better acting? Come on now. Just the prep for learning Bruce Willis's mannerisms alone. Not to mention Jeff Daniels just being a bastard.
Yeah. This one's pretty easy one for Looper.
And a young Patton Oswalt being pissed.
Yeah. Patton Oswalt was pretty scary in that movie. If you're like, you know what, Patton Oswalt could never be scary. If somebody says that to you, you show them Looper, and then they're like, never mind.
We shouldn't be picking on poor Patton Oswalt.
Whatever. He's probably like, dude, we need to remake Looper right now.
All right. So I guess we're gonna have to say the acting.
For acting, yeah. Remake Looper where Patton Oswalt replays every role except the old Bruce Willis. They put makeup on Patton Oswalt to make him look like Bruce Willis. Nope, no, I have to kill you and bring you back. No.
They should just do a whole series of movies, everything just redone with Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, there you go.
Commando, starring Patton Oswalt. All right, how about characters? Which movie had better characters?
So Looper was kind of, well, I don't know. I mean, Looper. I was gonna say Looper was kind of smaller cast on characters. For the majority of the time, I think that is true. You did have Kid Blue, who I hated, but I guess that's the idea. I did like Jeff Daniels' character. I mean, obviously Looper and Bruce Willis, but I'm trying to, go past the obvious. Because
we had the kid, we had the mom, you had the embarrassing friend, who just loser friend. Then you had the other dumbass who shot his foot off. Then you had the I don't know if she was a call girl or dancer or what she was.
Yeah, yeah, she was like a call girl.
Uh,
I didn't really get the relevance of her other than for that one scene where they catch Bruce Willis.
well,
Um,
you get the idea that he's been shacking up with this girl for a while. Um,
mhm.
you know, uh, rendering her services, and then all of a sudden, as an old man, Bruce Willis has to do something so despicable to save his future. He has to kill. Like he has a connection to this lady, so it was it was a long time ago. But he's like, dude, I know her and I know her kid, and now I got to murder a child. That's the connection. That's why he walked away. He's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
distraught, but he's doing it to save his wife in the future. So
Um,
rather it be just some stranger, it's like, oh no, I used to, I
yeah.
used to shack up with this lady, and and I have to kill her kid. This is way harder.
And again, that felt kind of convenient for me, but I mean, it was fine.
What do you mean convenient?
Just like that her kid, random kid, happened to be born on the same day as the Rainmaker, and blah blah. And of course, it's all that could happen in real life. It just was a little convenient for the story. But in Time Cop, you got Time Cop, and you got Time Cop. Um, you've got Bruce McGill, character wise, who is great because he continually, every time Walker comes back, he either remembers different things about him or different things are going on. He's like the narrative of the story,
Mm-hmm.
because he's like, no, what are you talking about, Senator? Blah blah, and and then does or doesn't remember certain things, and at a certain point doesn't remember Walker at all, which you seem like he'd be like, why'd you just come through my time machine if I don't remember you, But
Yeah.
um, you've got the girl that turned traitor on him.
Fielding, the partner.
Yeah, Fielding. Yeah, you've got her who ends up like, and they all kind of get a story arc. You've got the senator. You've got the young senator. You've got better characters.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Mel was like. How do you define better characters? Just interesting characters. Like a movie in a story is driven by good characters. So, you could have one or two good characters, and that's it. And if your leads are really pulling their weight, and it's basically the whole story is about them. You don't have to have additional characters, but if you have a whole bunch of people in this movie peppered throughout that are interesting, then it makes a movie more fun, in my opinion. Kind of like the random character in True Romance. You got Brad Pitt, the weird pothead that's on their couch, and it's like, don't condescend me, man. It's like that movie's got all kick-ass characters. You know what I mean? All the way through it. That's what makes a movie fantastic. At least it helps.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, are you gonna? Do you care about the characters? Are you gonna? You want to. Shoot, I don't know.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
Tombstone. Everyone is a fantastic character in that movie. Even the side people that walk up causing a little bit of trouble or whatever, though, are fantastic. Oh, and to me, Jean-Claude Van Damme's cool. His partner was okay. It's just an average partner. His wife was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The senator played a great douchebag.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Bruce McGill, his boss, was awesome, like you said, and then a bunch of randoms,
Mm-hmm.
thugs. It's like those. That's the main cast.
And then in Looper, they're they're fine characters, but they're both playing the same character, ideally at different time, or obviously at different times. But like, he wasn't really that likable of a character. Oh, I thought older Bruce Willis was, but like, I don't. like you were never really rooting for young Bruce Willis, or Looper. You were never, because it's like you just, especially after you see what through older Bruce Willis's eyes, he was a shithead. And even
Oh
Bruce Willis
yeah,
says you're a scumbag piece of crap. That he's like, she saved you, and when nobody should have.
Yeah, he's a young junkie douchebag who's killing people for money. That's basically what he is.
Yeah.
So,
but then you kind of do want him to have a happy life with Emily Blunt and this fucking Patton Oswalt weirdo kid, and
I didn't. I wanted him to go to China and end up meeting his future wife.
Well, good point too.
I didn't want him to.
You wanted old Bruce Willis to win, really?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Yeah,
but
that's
that it's funny how they turn that around as soon as he starts killing kids. Then all of a sudden you're like, I'm conflicted because I want him to win, but I don't want him to murder children. I don't know.
Not that way. Not that way, Bruce.
There's got to be another way. Yeah, that's weird. So who had better characters? I mean,
characters. I'm going to go Timecop. Just because I think like Bruce McGill, I really enjoy. He's one of those people you don't like. I wouldn't have known his name was Bruce McGill, but he's one of the ones that kind of pushed over the top for me because every time he's on screen, you just enjoy it. And like I don't know.
I'm gonna have
and
to.
Even I'm sorry. Even Emily Blunt's character kind of was a shit. Like the character was a shithead. Like she was a party girl that left her. Like she didn't know her kid had telekinesis and stuff. But like the characters in Looper were kind of bad people. That you didn't like. The story was good and the acting was good, but the characters were scumbags.
But she redeemed herself. She's like changed. She's a changed person. She goes and hides in the safe
and she had to because her sister was ripped to pieces by her freak son.
Yeah.
If my Patton Oswalt kid ripped, my brother or sister in half because a bookshelf fell on him, and I had to get my shit straight, I guess I would. But like it wasn't. That's why she came back.
I'm good, dude. I gotta go with Looper.
All right.
Now what? We got a stinking tie.
Yep. You like scummy people? I like good people. It's okay. Like that's
I thought they were interesting characters. The best friend who's a total loser that gets into trouble and has to hide in his floor safe. There's a whole theme of hiding in safes in this movie. Jeff Daniels,
there is
complete douchebag, but a good douchebag. I don't know. I like these characters. The senator did play a good 80s douchebag though.
Yeah, he was very, very douchey.
Very douchey. He had
or as they say, douche.
Douche. He had a fiduciary obligation or responsibility. Just kidding.
All right, guys, we got a tie here. What do you think? Who had the better characters, Looper or Timecop?
I don't know why I'm singing the Imperial theme march.
Because that's what you had in your head instead of, but now there's nowhere to hide. Since you took my love aside,
we're not going to do that again.
I'm out of my head. Oh,
bad people, but no. So I need a vote. Who needs who do you vote for? Better characters. Remember, define better characters. They're memorable. They stick out. Like if you
want to see more of them.
Yeah, do you one movie has like the mains, and then there's a bunch of extras, and then you have people that are interesting. Those are good characters.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's like, do you want to see more? Like, oh man, I wish I would have more of that character. Or if they made a sequel just based on that character or something, like you'd be like, oh, I'm down with that. Like, like whereas if they made a sequel, based on again the computer guy in Timecop, they're like, hey, here's a spin-off movie.
He was
like,
good.
kind of, yeah, but like, I don't want to see that. Like,
All right.
but I'd watch a whole movie about Brian McGill, like dealing with other time cops.
All right, we're gonna skip this one. How about this? Which movie made you want to take karate lessons more? I think I know the answer to that one.
Looper, baby.
Timecop. Come on, you can't watch Van Damme without going home and saying, "Mom, I want karate lessons."
Yeah,
we all know it.
Yeah, man, this is easy money. Yeah, that's a go for Timecop.
Okay, here I got one. Which one is the best movie to cheer you up? Which is the best cheer up movie?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. It's got to be Timecop 2. Looper's kind of.
I've never seen Timecop 2. I've only seen.
I haven't seen it either.
1.
Apparently, there is a Timecop 2 though. And there was a series based on Timecop as well.
Wow.
TV series. But yeah, Timecop's a fun, and it has a good. He wins at the end. He saves his wife. He gets his little kid. Looper.
I'll give you that.
A crime lord from existing, I guess.
I'm going to give you that one. We're going to go Timecop. I'm not giving you anything. Timecop earned it by doing the splits. Anytime I see a French man do the splits, it puts a smile on my face. How could there be a sequel to Looper? It would be one of the alternate timelines. It would be a continuation of one of the other timelines.
It's not alternate timelines. It's the same timeline that loops.
I'm talking about I'm just talking about the universe in general. There's multiple timelines all the time. Constantly happening. Let's see here. Which one is the better Christmas movie?
I mean, Timecop's a more family-friendly, fun. Well, I mean, with titties everywhere, family-friendly Christmas movie. But I don't know. I guess you could watch Die Hard for Christmas and then be in the mood for Looper.
Yeah,
so maybe Looper. Yeah.
That's the one I'm going with. Where's titties for Christmas is always good.
I mean,
come on, dude.
I'm fine with it. Like that's the thing. We grew up in like the 80s and stuff. There's titties in every movie. Like my kids would be like, "Oh my god, baby feeders!"
Oh,
like it's this terrible thing. It's like, no, it's
I'm gonna
one
go
of those
with
beautiful things on God's green earth. Like,
I'm going with Die Hard being a Christmas movie, and you wanting after you get through Die Hard 3 with a Vengeance with Sam Jackson, and you just got to have some more. Well, you should probably switch to Long Kiss Goodnight. But if you don't do that, I'd say go with Looper. Yep.
Yeah. Or actually, and then you're like, man, that makes me want to watch a Bruce Willis time travel movie. You'd probably go 12 Monkeys before you go Looper. And then
would you though?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We need to do 12 Monkeys. I don't even remember. I don't even remember that movie.
12 Monkeys explains the paradox perfectly because the whole movie is a paradox because it's a cyclical timeline.
Uh-oh.
But yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, 12 Monkeys. We can do 12 Monkeys versus a ton of stuff. 12 Monkeys is spectacular.
All right.
If you don't remember
I saw that one in the theater and I don't remember it anymore, so.
Yeah, that's a great one to not remember. What's a Brussels?
Oh,
They made a series out of 12 Monkeys?
no. I think Van Damme is Belgian.
Oh.
Muscles from Brussels. They made a series out of 12 Monkeys. I never saw that either. Well, did I give the point? Chris's movie point goes to
Looper.
Looper. Man, it's close.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever bring you down.
All right, how about this? Which one's a better date movie? Which movie is a better date movie?
Just show that clip again, sir.
Which clip could you be speaking of? I don't even know. I don't even know what you mean.
Your date would know. Bam!
I can't have my date looking at that. Can you do that? Well, yes, of course I can do that, but
Find out later tonight, hun. And then you get home and you're like, I pulled something.
I got to stretch
whatever
first.
I was. Yeah. I think I'm still going to go Timecop because it is a love story. Well, but Looper is kind of too. Looper's like a double love story.
No, there's
kills
the thing,
himself for
like,
the
okay,
kid.
and there's that, but there's also kids getting murdered. Is that going to upset my date, or is that going to open an interesting conversation to have with my date, where we're maybe having an actual interesting conversation about movies, and that sparks interesting conversation. Because there's a lot of layers to that movie because of the multiple timelines where the there's a lot of layers to that movie. So there's a lot to talk about. Where I feel like Timecop is just like, it's fun. It's a fun movie, but it's just like, okay, it is what it is. I feel like I'd probably be able to leave the theater and talk about the other movie more, so which would probably make for a better date. So I'm going to go with Looper.
You definitely be able to talk about Looper more. However, if it's like a first date or something, or like even an early date, I don't want to go into the time paradox thing. And then be like, no, just okay, no, okay. Like, so, I'm probably I'm probably still gonna go Timecop because it is like a happy ending. He gets like, it's an early version of romance. Looper is a more complex version of romance, and girls like the bad boy, but I don't. Well, just everybody likes, or a lot of girls like Justin Gore Looper. They like him, but he's just such a prick in this movie. Yeah, I mean, I just think Timecop's an easier, fun date movie.
Another tie. All right, gang, you got to help us.
You want John Claude?
Which movie is a better date movie?
John Claude whooping ass and saving his wifey, or this scumbag trying to kill his future self, who's trying to save him.
Who's Bruce Willis trying to save his wifey?
This thing, kinda ish, but his wifey was in that shoot 'em up club. She probably wasn't a great person either. Whereas Mia Sara is just like, come on.
Mel came in with the Jordan JGL all day long, baby. Does that mean you're picking better date movie would be Looper?
Looper.
It's French. Oh, sorry, it's Belgian.
I believe so. I think she.
Looper.
Wait, but before
Better
before
David,
that's
she
your
called
final
it.
answer. Before that's your final answer, show her the clip again. Just you might have missed this earlier, Mel. One more time.
Mel, you might.
Before you make your final decision. Bam. You get to see that in the big screen. And HD. High def. Right
See
there.
that? Look. This is real. You're not dreaming here. This is this is happening.
And you're right, Mel. That is very complex. What he's doing there, that's highly complex.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure you get to see that. Let's see here. Am I barking up the wrong tree? Look at that! Barking up that tree? Ah! All right. Let's see here. What do we got now? So I think the winner on that one is
That was Looper. Looper got that.
all right. Oh yeah. Bark up this. Ha! Oh my God. Okay, let's see here. How about this? Who had the best stunts and fight choreography?
Nah, it's easy. Did they do anything in Looper? Was there any
Looper had a
fighting in
bunch of
Looper?
shooting and running around and jumping out windows and stuff, but they didn't have this. Yeah. I mean, that's if there's any arguing at home, who had the best fight choreography? That is the best right there.
I mean, if this one comes down to a tie, we'd probably have to ask Ethan Hawke what he thought. But I'm just saying.
Be like, this is serious. Which had the best fight choreography? All right. All right. Well, I'm awarding points now. Shut up. There we go.
We haven't had any clips of Looper all night long.
No.
We haven't looped any clips of Looper, but
No, that's because there's a multiple timelines. Let's see here. Which has us tied again. Tied again. High def Van Damme.
High def VD. Yeah.
All right. What do we got here?
Which is now that's for your dreams. If you want nightmares, imagine Seagal doing that.
Oh no! Oh no!
He's like,
no, we don't even want to talk about the Curtis. Curtis, sit
"Give me a
down.
sandwich. Hold on.
Okay, Curtis. All right. Which brings us to our next question. Which movie made you hungrier? While you're thinking about which movie makes you hungrier? The kitchen. Barefooted with his stuff on the counter. I lost my appetite. I'm not eating that.
Yeah, you just got me hungry for a tossed salad there, buddy.
There's not enough Lysol to clean that counter. I'm done eating for the night. I'm ordering a pizza. What do you say, Curtis?
Well, imagining Seagal eat a sandwich now because of that last reference makes me want to go Timecop. No, actually, the steak and eggs and Looper look pretty good.
Yeah.
Did they have any weird food in Timecop? Like in 2004, they eat this weird food.
Did they have any weird food in Timecop? That's the
They had roasted nuts
bangers
for sure.
and mash in Timecop. I'm good. I'm going
Um,
Looper straight up just because, dude, I'm starting to crave some breakfast. I kind of want to go get some breakfast now.
All right, I'll go Looper. Once you on the steak and eggs, that's
Steak and egg sounds amazing. Let's see here. Looper.
Hey, he was awesome in his first 3 movies.
Chris Chris Klink was like, "Is that noise you're doing, Howard Dean?" Pia! We're gonna go to Washington. Pia! No, it wasn't intentionally Howard Dean, man. It was just what happened. Just what happens.
It's just it just happens to me sometimes.
Okay, which movie do you think holds up better? What does that mean, Curtis? What does holds up better mean?
So, like, if you're gonna, for like, we've watched Timecop in post 2004, and we're like, oh, it's kind of silly. If you watched Looper post 2044, or just down the road, like, if you're watching it again, like, which is more like, I guess timeless, kind of like, this could be
Timeless?
anytime, kind of, like, because you're not gonna, it doesn't matter that, that, like, for example, we're past 2015, but you're still gonna watch Back to the Future 2. It's just a good movie. It's like, you'll still enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Timeless, and then you brought up Back to the Future, and that's a time travel movie, and we're doing time travel movies, and you said timeless.
And it's a loop time travel movie, which is therefore,
did not branch.
Again, has the same problem as both, and not a branch. It's the same problem as both of these. So, but again, like, we know that stuff didn't happen in 2015, wasn't even close to it, but it doesn't ruin the movie. You can still watch it, you can still enjoy it, and you can imagine another time in some distant future where it does occur. It doesn't kill the movie for it, or stuff like that. Which one holds up? Like, if, like, you're like, what, telling your kids, hey, you need to check this movie out, or younger people.
Which do you think holds up?
I don't know. I think Timecop still holds up. Again, that 10-year time gap.
Does it hold
He'll
up?
hold it up like that. That's how he holds it up. That's how it's being held up. But like, the 10-year time gap did bother me a little bit rewatching it, but again, like, it still holds up. Looper is only 10 years old now, and it still holds up as well. Okay, I don't know if this is good or bad, but I do see Timecop being remade before I see Looper being remade. Yeah, but it's 10 years older too, or 20. So I don't know if that's fair, but, like, I think Timecop, the story is more overall makes more sense, is more cohesive, stuff like that. It doesn't have to have Van Damme; it can have the new action guy. Whereas Looper is more self-contained, and like if somebody didn't like Bruce Willis, they wouldn't like Looper. If somebody didn't like Van Damme,
that's not true.
I mean, well, okay. I mean, not for sure. But what I'm saying is the whole movie is based around his performance. Let's be honest, because Looper's paying young Bruce Willis. Like, if you're not a fan of Bruce Willis, and you're like, you might still enjoy the movie. I'm not saying you might hate it or anything like that. You might still enjoy the story and recognize the good parts of it. But you're like, I don't want to watch that fucking movie. I don't like that guy.
Dude, you could put
if you're watching
Bob Odenkirk in there, and it would be just as good. Bob Odenkirk's the guy from Better Call Saul who did Nobody.
Yeah, I know.
You could put a whole bunch of different people in that role, and it would be fine. I wouldn't put like Armie Hammer in that, but there's a lot of people that you could stick in that role, and I mean, am I wrong? I mean, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Of course you could. Yeah, no, of course you could. But what I'm saying is that, like, would it work as well? Would it? Whereas with Time Cop, is the story to me is you could make, and they did apparently did make a sequel and a TV show, but the idea of a Time Cop and like it is, you could continue that, you could like make it work, whereas with this one it's so self-contained, like the story itself is so self-contained.
Yeah, but you
So
could
I guess maybe this is maybe I'm answering the sequel question more so,
yeah.
but I'm just, but like to
But I
me
mean,
too, like that.
you could have Bryan Cranston and then some other guy that looks like a young Bryan. I mean, you could have anybody. You just got to get two people that you can kind of get them to look alike. But you could recast this movie with anyone, and it's just a good story. It's an interesting story. The idea of coming
Yeah,
of having to kill yourself and being put on the spot of whether or not you could do it or you should, or or just also growing as a human and changing as you get older and not being a junkie murderer. There's a lot of levels. It's almost like the Unforgiven, where the Unforgiven, when he's old, he tries to be a better person because he meets his wife and doesn't really go back into his old ways until you mess with Morgan Freeman. And that's just a rule of the universe. You mess with Morgan Freeman, somebody's gonna get gangster on you. But I don't know. I like.
okay, you're winning me over a little bit with the human elements and stuff. Then I would think that I could see Looper being more timeless after, because those human. Okay,
Well,
okay,
but I mean, both are quality stories. I mean,
yeah.
like
I mean,
Time
Time Cop
Cop.
still holds up, but
Yeah, it's not really the question, really, which is a better story, but it's just more of which film. Which film do you think
but
you're going to be able to watch? Say you watched both movies 10 years from now. Which one holds up,
well,
or 20 years
or
from the date it was made. Each movie.
yeah, or imagine like in a world where time travel exists. Like let's say it happens, and then we go back and we watch these movies. The human elements of Looper will still be present, whether time travel exists or not. Whereas with Time Cop, it's like this is just silly fun. Like this is just silly. The parts of Looper that are silly because okay, time travel exists. That's just silly. But the human elements will still exist in society. Therefore, they will still be relevant. Okay, we'll go Looper.
Hmm. Also,
Don't you? Wait, never mind. I changed the Time Cop with your
Clink said as long as whoever they cast could do the kitchen splits and Karate Party. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Mm.
I want to
What were you going to say?
Let's get Bruce Willis to do some splits.
Bruce Willis doing
But
splits?
like to see that.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. That's weird. Let's see here. So, so did you change your? Did I sell you on the?
Yeah, well, I'll still stick with Looper. Fine, even with your like.
Wahahaha. All right.
That's the name of your new band, Kitchen Splits, right?
All right. Save. There we go. Oops. There we go. What about like telekinesis? Like
Oh my God! What is happening?
That's super weird.
Dude, you better not have any fucking Patton Oswalt kids.
Yeah, that's super weird. Whoa! This is difficult to do. Look at
Dude,
that.
you're reminding me of Emily Blunt. You're so hot right now.
Oh man. Whoa. Whoa. That's amazing. All right. I'm done with my magic tricks. Let's see here. What do we got? Hungry. Hold on. Okay, this is an easy one. Who had a more tragic life? Oh, that's not the question I thought it was. My labeling says which movie had a better brat. It was like more of a brat. I was like, oh, this is an easy one.
That's still Looper. Yeah.
I'm laughing at this. Thor had to fake those splits. Just saying. Thor did have to fake those splits. Those were CGI splits.
They could have just called Van Damme and been like, "Hey, we'll give you like
Hey,
$500,000 to."
Yeah, here's a blonde wig. All right. Let's see here. So the question was, who had a more tragic life?
Oh, Pooper. Yeah. Van Damme had a happy ending, so Pooper had the worst life.
Yeah, Looper had a happy ending with the with the Susie, the one whose kid he went back to kill. I was just kidding. That was a happy ending joke. My bad. My bad. Yep. So okay, we got. I guess Looper had the more tragic life. Let's go. Yeah, because everything is hunky dory by the end of. By the time we get done with Timecop, he has gone back and fixed everything.
But it's still cyclical, so therefore he fixed nothing.
Did he?
So let's see. So time travel is invented. The reason that he'd already gotten the time cop job.
Mm-hmm.
And then so he fixed. Okay. So McCombs sends guys back to kill him, therefore kill his wife. But he'd already accepted the time cop job. So if he goes back, saves his wife, what would that negate? If he saves his wife,
Yeah. What happens there? Curtis, you there? Are you doing the math?
yeah, I'm thinking so. So the purposeful time travel was through McCombs, or Macomb.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, if once Macomb ceased to exist in that time, so it would have all started over again anyway. He goes back in time, pushes Macomb into himself. Macomb ceases to exist. Therefore, Macomb would have never had to send anybody back to kill his wife. Therefore, all the stuff would have happened again. There you go.
I had to jump up. My dog was trying to bark. So.
But anyway, but still.
But still.
Less tragic then.
I just want to say that when you're talking about what's more tragic, you have to take into consideration this. Yeah. Oh boy. Which movie or who had a more tragic life? Definitely Looper. Did we get the point on that yet?
I don't think so.
That was definitely Looper because his life ended. Oops. What am I doing?
And that was the happy ending.
Yeah, that was the happy ending in that movie. That movie was all about unhappiness and sacrifice and misery. The whole movie was pretty miserable.
Yeah.
Pretty much everybody got a bad shake in that movie. How about this is a good one. Who had the better villain out of these movies?
You never really see the Rainmaker, so he was the big bad. You never really see, and Jeff, like you're saying, Jeff Daniels' villainy was he was a pretty straightforward dude, just kind of doing a job. So you got to go with McCombs on this one for Time Cop.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Timecop on this because even the kid who ends up being the big bad towards the end, Jeff Daniels is kind of the bad guy, but then so are all the henchmen are kind of douchebags too, and then the bad guy is actually a kid that you root for him to live. Because even though he does terrible stuff, that's awesome because he's got telekinesis. Then when he gets pouty, you're like, oh, it's just a cute little Patton Oswalt. You know, I want him to live. So it's like, yeah, I think McCombs is the definite douchebag, and you want him to lose by the end. So we're gonna give that one to Time Cop. Oh, it's a cute little Patton Oswalt. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, which one deserves a sequel? We know that Time Cop has a sequel. Did it deserve the sequel? Do you want to see more Looper?
So Time Cop does have a sequel, which I have not seen, and it has a whole TV series, which I vaguely remember. It is not following JCVD's character. It's just another Time Cop, and that's what I mean. I could see that expanding. I could see that universe expanding, where like Iran gets the time machine, or blah blah blah. Like something like that happen. Or whoever. France gets the time machine, whatever. But and I could see that universe expanding. The Looper time or the Looper universe again. I just from the premise, I don't see like mafia bosses whipping out time machines anytime soon. Like that was kind of weird premise to me. If it was Rogue Nations, I would get it, but like,
what about if Joseph Gordon-Levitt didn't actually die when he shot himself, but he ended up changing his history where he ended up. So maybe he ended up going to the hospital or something, or getting saved, but it changed the wound changed his where he was. The reason he disappeared is not because he died; it's because he put him somewhere else, and then he ended up having a happy life with. He ends up surviving and ends up with Emily Blunt, but that could be a completely different movie. And then
I'd believe that if it wasn't a boomstick to the chest, though. Like,
yeah, but and then and then maybe or maybe other people go back and try to get that kid before he a different Looper comes after him, like,
or like the story of the Rainmaker, and like I could see Emily Blunt and that kid creating another film. I could see that working.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I'm still going to go Time Cop. I'd like to see a good sequel to the Time Cop where it could just be another cop, as long as he can do.
You could have another cop, as long as the cop could do this.
Bam! You can make a whole shared universe on that.
Yeah. They should just have a show of just people that can do that, I think.
Yeah,
doing.
They go back in time and they go back in time and they do that. And people were like, okay, I won't time travel anymore. I'm sorry.
I'm going to do a 24-hour live stream of just that and see how many views I get. I wonder how viral that would go if you just stream that for 24 hours.
Rated show ever. Yeah.
Oh boy. I don't even know what this means, but it's going on the I like goddamn Van Damme. And then venereal disease that knows karate. Foxy. I don't even know what that means. So, okay.
His burning toasty nuts.
We already did that one. I need to get rid of this right now. Boom. Yes, delete that scene. Bam. Okay. If you're on a flight, if you're on a flight and you could only watch one of these movies, which one would it be? Which movie would it be if you could only watch one of those movies? This is tough because they're both good movies.
I kind of once I rewatched these, I wanted to rewatch them again, both of them. As much as I enjoy the titty party that is Timecop, though, on a flight, maybe we'll stick to Looper because there's no. And again, it's just so weird to me. No baby feeders are shown, therefore I should not feel shame. Like, it's so fucking weird to me. But yeah, we'll go Looper.
I'm going Looper too.
Well, not just baby feeder. I mean, full frontal bush, but like again, one of the most beautiful things ever in the world. And like, can't show that.
Yeah.
Guy getting his intestines ripped out. That's okay. But
it's not really about that so much. I don't know. Being on a flight, you could cause a serious disruption with this.
Well, true. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the plane is going down. Someone
was watching Timecop.
Yep, that's all that would happen. Is somebody on the plane would go, "Wow!" and the plane's going down. All right, so I think
what if, dude? And then like you're on the plane, you're like, "Oh my god!" Everybody's like freaking out, and Van Damme's on the plane. He's like, "Hey, hello, hold on, wait a minute." And then he just like does the splits between seats, and everybody's like, and then it just crashes into the ocean.
There's nothing better than Van Damme between two semis going down the highway. That's the best footage ever. Timecop on a flight all day long, says Clink. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to our points. Yeah, this is a big landslide. Again, our scoring system is highly rigged.
Stupid.
Yeah, and doesn't mean one movie's better or the other is better. It just means that's just how it goes.
It was pretty close early on. Yeah,
early on, it was very close. Now, not so much, which makes the winner. The winner of this is wow. That's not the winner. Get that out. Jesus, how many times are we going to show that dumb video? Oh God, guys, the winner, Looper, wins it. The Looper. I don't know how. I almost want to turn this upside down to see. I want to see Bruce Willis's face on top. Yeah.
That's
well, Looper won, gang. Guys, be sure to like, share, subscribe, click notification bell, all that good stuff. Man. So what are we doing next week?
I don't know. Everything Everywhere All at Once has just come out, and I'm probably going to buy it and see it. So I didn't know if you wanted to do that. We can.
Let's do that. It'll be a multiverse week. We can do that against Doctor Strange. That's on Disney Plus. That's free for everybody at home.
There you go.
I'll come up with some ridiculous questions. Both movies are fun. If anybody who hadn't
at the same time,
yeah. Anybody who hasn't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's a fantastic film. And I think if you haven't seen it, you'll really enjoy it. It's on Amazon. I think it's like $3.99 or something. It's cheap. It was $20 for a while, so I've been putting off doing this movie. But I really enjoyed that movie, and it's got Short Round from Indiana Jones, and Michelle Yeoh, and you'll love it. Like it's a lot of fun. I think it's one of the best movies that come out in years. Like I really really enjoyed that movie. So it's fun. It's fun, and yeah. So check it out. So next week we're doing that. Mel says, which movie which movie gets me hotter? All right. But meaning
which compares to this
colder? Oh,
which
you
movie compares
like
to
which movie gets
this?
me hotter? This one? Bah! Or this one? Bah! That's right. Oh yeah. So there we go. Next week we will have that, and we will be here hanging out, being stupid like normal, and we appreciate you guys watching, hanging out, commenting, all the good stuff. And holy smokes, guys. Hit the subscribe button, hit the share button. And more than anything, we really appreciate you guys just sticking with us and telling your friends. And most of all, all right, we're done. I'll see you guys later. Curtis, always a pleasure. Clink, Mel, everybody, you guys have a great week, and we're going to see you next time.
Good night, Bobby.
Good night, Bobby, our favorite patron. We appreciate you.